Okay. So, I contemplated whether I would do this video. Because like Ren, I don't want to instill hate. It's not what I'm about. However, I think some important issues do arise because of this, and I think that it's important that we talk about the value of music, and we talk about how Ren has created such great art that impacts a lot of people. So I wanted to take this time to show people, or to offer my story and how Ren's music has impacted me. Just for insight. And I would also advise other people to do that too, to talk about how Ren's music has impacted you in whatever way. Because sometimes having people talk about how it's affected them, and people seeing that a large group is invested, can sometimes stop certain censorship from occurring. If we are loud enough, who knows? But anyway, so for me, and again, sorry if this is a long video, I just want to make sure I am thorough with what I talk about. So I discovered Ren 2 weeks ago. I'm a newbie, okay? New to the art of Ren. A new renegade. Let's just put it that way. Although I do hazard a guess there are a few songs, especially from the Big Push, that I may have heard years ago and I didn't realize that it was Ren right in there. But let's just say I fully got into Ren's music a couple of weeks ago. And I gotta tell you, it has been a whirlwind for me. Been a bit of a roller coaster. I have never come across an artist like Ren. And I've listened to a lot of music in my day and age. As a fellow musician myself, I love listening to new music. I love listening to artists. I love making my own music. I love doing all of that. So I'm always very excited when I come across really good musicians. And Ren wasn't just a good musician. Ren is somebody really out there. He's up there with the greats in terms of his lyricism, in terms of his musicianship. So as a musician to a musician, I am in awe. I know most musicians that I've heard Ren are a lot of the reaction videos that I've spent a lot of time watching are, just in awe of, and rightly so. So on a musical level, I find his ability to creatively maneuver between genres very inspiring. I find his ability to have great lyricism. When you look at the lyrics and you pay attention and you look at his rhyming schemes, they're so phenomenally done. It's like, oh my lord, teach me, sensei. Because it's just so beautifully done. And then not to mention, he's got the vocals and the guitar playing skills and the piano skills and the beatboxing. I mean, it's just like you peel a layer and then another layer and you just keep getting more, gold, right? So very exciting for me to learn from. So, and I've also noticed he's inspired me to shake up my music. Because I think he mentioned this in his, when he was talking about his music, that people often fall into the habit of leaning into verse, chorus form, which I'll admit I fell victim to that, right? But listening to Ren break that pattern, break those rules, break those boxes, has inspired me to do the same, right? Not to mention, I wanna learn how to rap like he can. I've been trying to teach myself to rap, and I'm not amazing at it right now, but damn, I am listening closely to the way that Ren spits his bars in order to learn how he does it, because my lord, that's impressive. It's impressive. So I definitely feel that I have been inspired by Ren. And I haven't felt inspired by a musician in a long time. In fact, I don't think that I ever have felt inspired by an artist before. I mean, I can't remember a time that I felt like inspired by an artist. So again, I think a lot of musicians will be deprived if that people get into the habit of trying to censor this guy's music. I mean, honestly, we really shouldn't be censoring anybody's music for any reason, right? Now, we should put value towards the public and people over our personal gain and interest in money, which, is what Ren talks about, right? So that's one aspect. But we also mustn't forget the mental health aspect. Now, mental health is a very serious and a very real problem in our society. And it bothered me, and it bothers me when content talking about struggles within mental health and pharmaceuticals and all of that gets suppressed. Because this is information that needs to be heard. As somebody who has battled my own mental health journey, who is first-hand knowledge, just like Ren, of the dysfunction, I guess that's the word, the dysfunctional system, can vouch that it needs to be changed, right? I mean, we're not doing enough. So many people fall through the cracks. So many people lose their lives because they fall through the cracks, because they don't get looked at closely enough. And I've been saying this to myself for years, that what is happening within a mental health society is lazy. To sit you down, to check boxes, to spend 30 minutes and then determine that they know what's wrong with you, only to find out that it's not the case, is the reason why so many people end up giving up permanently. In my case, it was a little different from Ren's. While he got misdiagnosed with a mental health condition, I think he said bipolar disorder, I wasn't diagnosed sooner enough, I think is what I want to say, in the sense that I had an idea of what was going on early on. I knew that I had displayed these highs and these lows and these symptoms, and I knew that something was wrong. And I would go in and out of doctors, different social workers, psychiatrists, doctors, all different places to talk about my symptoms, to try to get help. And because I had an idea of what I had, I tried to be really careful not to come out and just say it, because I didn't want to influence their decision. I wanted them to come to it, because I felt in my mind that if they came to my condition themselves, that it would mean that it was more accurate, that it was a more accurate diagnosis. The only problem with that is that it seemed like they weren't paying attention. So I'd be here trying to articulate the symptoms while not giving everything away, and they're sitting there spending 30 minutes and then determining everything's fine, you're okay, it's just normal hormones. Well, in my mind, I know, what's normal hormones. I've lived around people in school and everything. I've been around them all the time. I know what's considered typical, and it did not seem like they were experiencing what I felt. It felt like I was feeling things on a much stronger degree. That doesn't mean to say that they weren't, because I know sometimes people can hide it. So I'm no stranger to that, but sometimes it's hard to, I don't know. It's hard to articulate ourselves sometimes, especially when we get to these sensitive topics. But this is why we need to talk about it. We need to talk about the problems in our system. We need to talk about why so many people feel alone and isolated, and the need to end it all. We need to talk about that, because our society is fracturing. It is broken. It is being pulled apart. And my issue is a lack of empathy. I see a lot of lack of empathy, which I think ties into greed, which then ties in to the money game. We all are just, we are all just placing self-interest over community. And this is why I have a slight issue with how individualistic our society is today, where we only seem to care about what happens to ourselves, right? We prioritize ourselves over anything else, right? As long as we get the money, as long as we get the power, it doesn't matter if somebody else gets hurt in the process. It doesn't matter if somebody gets tread on in the process. Because as long as you get what you want, then that's all that matters. Now, I haven't gone into depth of my story. I don't want to make this about my story. I want this to be about showing Ren support and showing people how Ren's music can be highly effective and how trying to suppress that would be detrimental. And I get certain people need things to live and survive, right? But we need to ask ourselves, when we're doing these things, is this really what's good? Is this really what you absolutely need to have right now? Or is it just because you want more? Is it because you want more and more and more, and you saw an opportunity to get more and you decided to do it? Because that makes you a victim of the game. Or a player. I don't know if victim is the right word. Depends if you know it or not. You're the player of the game. It broke my heart when I saw Ren talk about his situation. I could see the pain. I could see the hurt from musician to musician, from somebody that's gone through mental health to him and knowing his struggles, to see that his blood, sweat, and tears were being suppressed. That was hard. I was furious. Afterwards, I was angry because I understand. If that was me, I wouldn't have been so nice. I mean, Ren, this is the thing. Ren is a nice guy. And people that want to claim that he is not a nice guy, I'm sorry, but what the fuck? I wouldn't have been as nice. I wish I could have been that nice. I used to be that nice. Unfortunately, I've been a little bit corrupted by people, right? So I'm not that nice anymore, right? But Ren is, and I love that about Ren. Ren should keep that. He should never get rid of that. The problem I find though is when you're that nice, people can take advantage, and that's what I saw, and that's what pissed me off. When somebody good, trying to do good, and people don't see it. They don't see it. And they decide to abuse it. They decide to manipulate it. And I will say one thing. And again, this isn't to throw shade at them, because again, I'm not here about hate, but I call things out for what they are. And when I see something that I think is ethically wrong, I have to call it out. Using and weaponizing mental health struggles when you know what Ren has been through, I found extremely problematic. That was a low blow. That right there was a low blow. But again, not here to spread hate. I just call things out for what they are, for when I see things that I believe to be ethically immoral. And that I thought was ethically immoral. But again, this has been a long video, and I don't want to go on and on for too long, because I could talk all day, I could talk all night about so many different things, but I don't want to make this too long for you. At the heart of this, anybody that knows what's happening, supports what's happening, you know what to do. Keep the song alive. You know what to do. You know what my last video was. You know what to do. And if you don't know, then look at my most recent video before this, and you'll know what I mean. And keep the song alive. Keep the song alive. As a community, and what I believe Ren is trying to instill in terms of unity, we have to stick together. We have to come together, and we have to work as a community. We have to be the face of change. We have to show people how this world should be. And that is being a community, standing up, fighting for one another, caring for one another, being empathetic for one another. And although I don't know Ren personally, and although I've never met Ren personally, I care about people. And I care about the message that he is sending. And I want the best for people. And because of that, when something that I think is wrong happens, I cannot stay silent. It goes against every nature, every fiber of my body. I can't stay silent. So here I am, not staying silent, doing what I can to help you, Ren. And I would do it for anybody else that I thought was in a immoral situation. So, with that all being said, I think I've said enough. Let's do what we know what we can do. Let's protect Ren. And let's keep the music alive. Have a good one, guys.